Hey friends, Coach Selena here. There's something that's been in the forefront of my mind for the past several weeks. So I do have a private group coaching program called You're More Than Your Stuff. And for this month, we had been focusing on all things related to self-care. I think that sometimes we get lost in the idea that when we declutter, we have to put all of our energy into decluttering and keep pulling back from other areas. And one of the things that tends to slip when we do that is this idea of taking care of ourselves. So, with that in mind, I was driving one of my kids to the bus stop because she is now in college. She's a college girl. And I was listening to a Brandi Carlile song. I'm a huge Brandi Carlile fan. If you don't know her, check her out. I saw her in concert this summer. She was amazing. And there was a line in a song of hers that said, I can make my own mistakes, let it bend before it breaks. And for some reason, that really just sort of it stuck out to me, right? And I was like, wow, how many times do we get so wrapped up in over giving that we don't bend, we break, like to the point where we give and we give and we give of ourselves, and we don't have anything left to meet our own needs. And sometimes that can be a cultural thing, that can be a conditioning thing, especially for women. You're supposed to give to your family before you give to yourself, or it can play out in religious circles. You always give to the church before you give to yourself. And I kind of want to push back against that a little bit and offer the idea um, to bend before we break. So instead of over giving to the point where we have nothing left, what if we find areas where we can pull back a bit and then actually have more to give for ourselves and more to give for the people and places that we love? Um, the problem is that when we overgive, okay, we actually break ourselves over and over and over again. How many times have you been in a situation where you have overgiven to the point where you have missed meals, where you are not sleeping well, where you have a lot of anxiety and stress, and everything just kind of seems to get blown out of proportion, right? When we give to ourselves first, okay, there are more resources, more patience, more energy to be able to give in these other places and spaces. So that's something that I really want you to take some time to think about, because decluttering is a long game, right? This is not something that we finish in 5 days and then we're like good for the rest of our life, right? So if you're going to declutter, decluttering is a process. And to start that process, we have to learn new skill sets. And I want you to learn skill sets that have longevity. Okay. I don't want you to kill yourself in 3 hours and then be like, okay, yay, my room's done. But then in 3 weeks, the clutter has been creeping back in and you get frustrated and you feel like you're in a cycle that you can't get out of. Okay. That's problematic. That's not serving you. We have to remember that when we declutter intentionally, we actually have to keep checking in with the space, right? That's what I call conquering and defending. So we may conquer a zone, right? Let's say kitchen counters. Kitchen counters are known for accumulating stuff. So we can conquer our kitchen counter, but if we don't defend it, right? And that means attending to it regularly to, like, put the leftovers in the fridge or put the dishes in the dishwasher or take ingredients and put them back in the pantry. If we don't defend it, then it's going to continue to get cluttered, right? So that's something that's really, really important. So my question to you, if over giving to the point of burnout essentially is breaking your own heart, why do you continually sign up to do it? Okay, a lot of it can be habit. And this is coming from someone who has spent most of her life over giving. Now I don't. What I do is I give to myself first. I look at the places and spaces where sometimes I have to say no, or I have to say not now. Okay. And let's remember that no is a full sentence, right? We don't have to offer anybody any kind of explanation as to why we can't do something right now. Okay, so your answer is good enough. And I think it's good to practice saying no and then letting go of guilt. Okay, because sometimes when we say no or we don't give to the level that we're used to giving, then we get into a cycle of a lot of self-shame. Okay, that does not serve us either. Okay, talking kindly to yourself and showing yourself patience and grace, that's what serves you. Okay, shaming doesn't. So I want to offer the idea that if you are a person who is overgiving, who is stressed out, who has reached burnout, can you look at areas where you can pull back? And there's going to be something. There always is. Sometimes our natural inclination, if we are an overgiver, is to say, oh no, there's definitely not anywhere where I can pull back. Okay, but I promise you that there is. Please come and find me in my free Facebook group. Okay, there's lots of support there. My other YouTube videos have lots on talking, especially about why shame doesn't serve us. That's definitely a video that you're going to want to check out. And I want to encourage you to make it a priority to fill your own cup first. Okay, you cannot fill the cup of another if the well is dry, right? So self-care is about loving ourselves, is about putting energy back into our own bodies. Okay, and sometimes that's done in the simplest of ways, right? You need nutrition, you need hydration, you need sunlight, and you need rest, right? And then the other thing that I like to throw in there is you need fun. Okay, when we do things that are fun, when we do things that bring us joy, when we share space with people that we truly enjoy, that fills our cup up, right? So when you do that, you will have more energy and more time to be intentional about your decluttering. Okay, but I really, really want to encourage you to think about bend before you break. Okay, that's super important. I'll see you next week.